You might think you know Batgirl, but here are 12 facts you may not have known about the dominoed daredevil. The best-known Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, first appeared in the story The $1 Million Debut of Batgirl by Gardner Fox and Carmine Infantino in 1967's Detective Comics number 359. In her first adventure, she stops Killer Moth from kidnapping Bruce Wayne while she was dressed as a gender-swapped Batman for a costume party. The Barbara Gordon Batgirl was introduced to the comics at the request of the producers of the 1960s Batman TV show, who wanted a female protagonist to help attract more women viewers. Batgirl, as portrayed by Yvonne Craig, was so popular she almost got her own spin-off show. Barbara, however, was not the first Batgirl in comics. 1961 saw the debut of the first Batgirl, Betty Kane, the niece of Kathy Kane, the original Batwoman. Kathy and Betty Kane were introduced into the comics as love interests in order to make Batman and Robin seem less gay. Following the continuity reboot of the Crisis on Infinite Earths, the original Batgirl no longer existed, but Betty Kane was reworked as Bet Kane, and her crime-fighting identity became Flamebird to explain her time as a member of the Teen Titans. Alright, back to Barbara. In a story from 1972 called Batgirl's Last Case, Barbara decided to hang up her tights in order to make a difference as a member of the United States House of Representatives. She served as a congresswoman for a little while before returning as Batgirl in order to team up with Superman. In the rebooted origin story Batman Year One, the future Commissioner James Gordon and his wife have a baby. Originally, this baby was supposed to be Barbara, but then it was realized this would mean that Barbara was not even a teenager by modern times. As a result, Barbara was made Jim's niece, whom he adopted, except later we find out Gordon had an affair with his wife's sister, and Barbara is his daughter after all. Following a second retirement from crime fighting in 1988, Barbara was paralyzed by the Joker in the Notorious Killing Joke graphic novel. She was reintroduced a few years later in the pages of Suicide Squad as the network specialist and information broker Oracle, an identity she would maintain for many years. In 1999, a new Batgirl was introduced in the form of Helena Bertinelli, better known as the vigilante The Huntress, during the crossover No Man's Land, in which Gotham City was wrecked by a massive earthquake. Helena would not remain Batgirl long, as Batman forced her out of the role for not following his moral code. Helena would pass on the mantle of Batgirl to Cassandra Cain, the daughter of two assassins. The verbal centers of her brain were rewired by the League of Assassins to read physical movement rather than speech, so for many years, she is unable to talk or read without great difficulty. Despite Barbara appearing as a backup in Detective Comics and as a recurring feature in Batman Family, the first Batgirl to get her own solo title was Cass, the debut of which came in 2000, 39 years after the first appearance of the first Batgirl, and 33 years after Barbara's debut. Cass would later hand over the identity of Batgirl in order to become Black Bat, Batman's operative in Hong Kong. The fourth Batgirl would be Stephanie Brown, who had formerly been the vigilante spoiler and the fourth Robin for a brief time. Barbara would later approve of this choice and become Stephanie's mentor. Following the New 52 continuity reboot, Barbara Gordon is Batgirl once again, now living as a PhD student in the fashionable Gotham City borough of Burnside. Fortunately, Cass and Stephanie have recently returned in the pages of Batman and Robin Eternal, with Stephanie once again under the guise of spoiler. That's it for this episode of You Think You Know Comics. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Comics Alliance for more comic facts, and check out comicsalliance.com for more comic awesomeness.